to the video, we're going to just go over some workflow processes, some tips and tricks. So let's begin. Here we're at the front page of Kaiber. For those that are familiar with it, we have the image, existing transform option feature, and the audio. I'm not going to go in too much in detail because I have another previous video that kind of goes for what Kaiber is about. The objective is what how do we take this sitting animation, even though the prompt says they're sitting to standing right here. How do we accomplish that, right? So in the video, unfortunately, the character or animation is only displaying the character just sitting, even though they prompted or initiated the request of sitting to standing, right? And then we're going to stick to the styling. So how do we come about that? Great question. The user was asking in the Kaiber Discord chat about this area question. So Kaiber is able to probably do this for those that are gurus and expert at this, but I wanted to show my process, my workflow of idea of being creative. First of all, I asked the user, thanks for sharing this. They shared it, and then I was able to take the image here and then replicate the prompt. So that way I could just reverse engineer it. So how do we do that? Great question, right? So let's go over to a tool called replicate.com. It allows you to take the input of a image file. You literally just drop it or upload it. You hit submit. And this is what came out of it. And you can take that image and plug it right into Kaiber. So what's neat about Kaiber is we're just going to skip all these and go straight to the prompt. Makes sense, right? Because we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we generate using AI tool called Kaiber and getting a character from sitting to standing. That is the action we're trying to accomplish here. Right, so we just re-engineer. Okay, we got the prompt, we established one of the imaging frames or the initial image, right, the init image, and we just plugged it into Kaiber. Great, let's move on. What is the style? Well, the style is right here of using this. All right, we're gonna plug that in. We're going to go ahead and continue to settings. In the settings, we're going to go ahead and just making sure this is, we're just going to do a quick 3-second. Aspect ratio is the sizing. We're going to go ahead and zoom in. We're going to reverse it. Obviously, we want to stick to the closer to the initial image, right? The image that I used here. If we wanted to go to the Wild Wild West, we go here for more chaotic, right? We're not going to do that for this example. We're just going to hit generate. When you hit generate, it's actually going to preview, give us 4 frames. Okay, so while this is generating the frames, we want to make sure, okay, so how do we get the objective of the character from sitting to standing, right? A little quick recap. We went over here, reverse engineering, checked the screenshot of this image, plugged it in here, got this prompt, took all into Kaiber, and here we are getting the preview frames, right? So here's the beauty of it. Kaiber tip 1. We have 4 options. Let's say you like one, you just download it. Let's say you like all of them, download all of them. But the tip here comes to, well, I don't know, let's say you don't like any of these, okay? The nose is off, the hair is weird, character is sitting in a big chair, and there's no detail of the face. Great, I don't like it, hit back. Now, when you do that, it doesn't take up any of the credits, which is nice. The only time the credits will be used is a 100% successful rendered generation of the video. Again, keep that in mind. So, settings are good, right? Just want to double check right when I do this. That way you can hit generate. You want to make sure your settings, you don't accidentally, click something that you didn't want for the settings. But yeah, it's nice that we can go ahead and do that. So getting back to the idea of this is we want the character to be from sitting to standing, and I believe the user was also requesting how do they like get to, after standing, another action or movement. I believe they wanted to like walk away or run away, something like that. I don't recall exactly. So let's move on to there after we simulate this generation. So again, we've got the prompt, we took this, and it's literally given this. That's option 1. Option 2 is you're going to take the same init image, and you can just pretty much skip this and just let it generate, but you're really relying on the prompt. So we're just going to go method 1 here. Let's just choose one. For the purpose of this, this one looks cool. We're going to choose that one, right? You're just sitting, we're just going to go ahead and generate that. While that's generating, let's move on to the next area, right? So for my workflow thinking, I believe it's 3 segments, or you could do 3 separate video clips, right? One sitting, one standing, and the final action will be some sort of walking, jogging, running, whatever you prefer. Okay, so here's the other one. Remember, first one is sitting, here's the second one, which is standing. Standing, well, how did we get to this prompt, right? Great question. Like Midjourney, DALL-E, free other tools, ChatGPT, to get your brain with the flowing, or the image that you like that's just standing, throw it out into, right, replicate.com. Makes sense. And then get the prompt to reverse engineer the prompt. So again, that's for standing. So obviously this is the prompt we got from reverse engineering using replicate, and this is the prompt. And I'll see the style will remain the same from what we're trying to stick with, the flow of the style. The showing of this is the person standing. Let's get back to where, okay, perfect. We're now just generate this from the character sitting, right? Again, quick recap. Where did we get this prompt again? Well, we got it from reverse engineering of the image file and using replicate. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so we got that established. So that's one method. What's the other method, right? Yes. Well, yeah, great question. And we can go ahead and begin with an image, right? So you can take either this image or this image, right? And plug it in here. Makes sense, right? And then you'll continue with the prompt, etc., and go on forth your way. The only difference is you will not be given 4 images like here. Okay, so these are just examples of the ones that I was trying to pre-select from the prompt given, right, to standing, and these are the just samples I'm showing you. So I will see this is a no-go, it's sitting. This is a no-go, I believe, because it looks like it's sitting. The last 2 are good. They're standing. They just clearly show they're standing. You can download them, boom, boom. Or you can say, you know what? I've got 50% here, right? I'm going to hit back button and regenerate again. That I had shown you earlier. More examples, right? We want standing. We're not going to go sitting unless you want to use that in the back one. Just change everything, but we're just focused on standing. So this one's good, and the last one's good. I don't know what's going on with this third one. So again, standing is focusing. Well, download them, right? If you like them, that's free, by the way. It's free when you download them. Or you don't like any of them, scrap it. You're going to hit the back button, regenerate as shown prior. So again, recap. We just got working with standing. How do we get from sitting to standing? We decide we're going to break this workflow into 3 segmentations, 3 video clips, which is sitting, standing, and the last action, I believe I recall, is some sort of jog and run. Alright, great. So let's go back to creating video here. Alright, let's just go back. So let's get to the running. Well, you might ask, like, yeah, that's a great question. Let's say you don't want to work with any of these images from the sitting, because obviously it doesn't work. Well, running is not sitting, right? Or definitely standing is just not going to work, right? There's standing and still. We want something running. So what I did, here's another tip. Here we go. I took from the internet, free, I don't know what website, that's free, make sure it's legal, free commercial use to use. I took that image and guess what I used? I used replicate. Excuse me, that's a different picture, but you get the idea. This was another idea of another user that was asking for them to use this because they want to know what is this image would create the prompt for. And I told them this image gives you this prompt. They're like, great. So here it is. So again, long story short, I took the image from the internet, which is this. You can see it's the very first frame, initial image, which is the first frame. I plugged this away, right? Because we want to also, here's another tip, trying to match the image, the vision, right? Because obviously we went back to here, sitting, standing, it's just too much. The AI is just trying to figure out, well, we're just going to stay sitting. That's not good, right? Or we're going to stay standing. But with this is a little different. We took already the initial image of it, kind of pushing the prompt to assist with it, to go ahead and making sure this image, right, I plugged it in here and it gave me this prompt. Okay, just picture that. Okay, took the image, used replicate, and it gave me this, literally this prompt right here. The rest is all the style that we've been following through from this sitting and standing to go with the matching flow. But this, it gave us from the replicate this, and I just plugged it in, and now it helps with assisting the prompt that matches to the initial image to the generation of what you see is what you get. As you can see, it looks like the cartoon is what, jogging, running. It gets that it evokes the prompt with the visuals. Okay, so that's the point of that. So hopefully that makes sense, right? All right, well, here's another sample idea, right? We took this from the prompt. Remember, I showed you the prompt that was given from replicate this. We plugged it into Kaiber, and it gave us 4 initial images that we could use. So this is another great example. Another area to cover and understand is this, the settings. This is kind of important because in conveying this setup that I actually had to understand, okay, well, we got the timing. It's kind of short, right? It's only like 10 seconds. So I extended it a little longer, right? So timing, I believe, plays a factor. Well, what's the other two? The other two would be like the camera. And what's the last one? Well, obviously, the last one is called evolve. All right, so why those 3? The timing, right, allows the AI to kind of read this prompt and allows it to render the pixelations, right? So you can see it work in this magic, right? That's because of the time. Well, why the camera angle? Well, I had chosen the camera to kind of zoom out to give that effect of the cartoon already running. I know it's like, I don't know, an illusion, attempted one. And the third one, the evolve. Well, I wanted to kind of stick to the character and not evolve into some random monkey, right? That's wild. Let's get back to the settings, right? So again, we had, 10 seconds, right? There we go. Aspect ratio, don't want to explain that. It's just the sizing, right? What device? You want cell phone, we're choosing the cell phone size, or we want kind of like the screen for a normal 16 by 9. We chose zoom in, and remember the camera angle? That was zoom out that was being shown from running. So anyways, I believe that those 3 factors play a role into how it affects your movement, action, and what you're envisioning into the prompt. So time, camera movement, and evolve, right? We don't want it to be like a monkey or just chaos wild. We want to stick to the initial image, which was shown here. So we end up coming up with all this. We chose this as the initial image. Remember the running image we chose? We end up choosing this one as initial, and we're going to play that to show that I had chosen the camera to rotate to the right. So just a quick recap. Extend from a little bit long. I know it's 5 seconds, not long enough, but it's just a show example. Timing plays a little factor. Probably a little bit longer. You can really see and rotate and move. It's probably through whatever that opening looks like. So that's for timing. The other one was the camera rotation to the right, and what was the last one, which was evolve. We chose closer to sticking to 1 because I didn't want this person moving and transforming into whatever random thing that AI would love to think about. And yes, there's some random stuff from AI. So, quick recap. We have sitting, we have standing, and we have running. Well, how does this all play together and gluing everything together into one area, an option, right? Well, we want to solve or come to approach of, okay, how do we get to this prompt of getting the character to literally sitting to standing and then to another action, or walking away or run, right? We decided to choose 3 different segments, which was sitting, standing, and running. And here's another area, which is I used a video editing tool. You can choose whatever editing tool that you prefer and that you like to use, that you're comfortable with. I chose Clipchamp, and here is me combining all 3 of the sitting, standing, and running, so as you can see. So that's that. So now here's another creative idea, maybe you could per se, right? I took all this, which was sitting to standing to running, right? And I put it into the transform option. So I'm just going to show back right here. Well, what is transform? Well, transform allows you to literally take the video I have here, right? Put it in here, because I want to make sure that this video is less than a minute, which definitely is, right? Make sure it's less than a minute, and it's small enough to have Kaiber allow it to use, which I believe, I could be mistaken, it's about under 100 megabytes. So let's transform this, and what do we get? And here it is. Voila. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. And I also want to discuss about the prompt. There is this prompt that is really neat. I took this prompt. Yeah, it's really fascinating, right? Point of view, rocket taken off from Jupiter to deep space. It's kind of out there, wild, right? In the style of psychedelic, intense colors, free-flowing lines, and kaleidoscopic patterns, illegal hand-drawn type. And this is what you get. I thought it turned out pretty neat for what was objective, right? We want to take this character from sitting to standing, right? And more. And this is what we got. But how do we come about with all of this? Well, quick recap. We had used replicate. The link will be in the description below. And also, if you have any questions, please leave in the comments below. We took the prompt idea because of the image, put that into Kaiber, right, to establish how to reverse engineer this, right? Like, hey, how do you get this prompt, right? We took the same idea and got all these images and got the standing, right? And then we further on to the running, right? Did it 3 times. Plugged into your favorite video editor, bada bing, bada boom, use the transform, and this was the marvelous outcome. So hopefully that covers the workflow, the thinking, the creative process on things. I'm sure if I missed anything, just please leave questions or comments in the sections below there, and hopefully learn something and stay creative. Alright, we're going to go over a bonus tip and tools here. So what was the area? Well, we had somebody in Discord requesting a question they had. Mainly they used Midjourney, and they were trying to create obviously a video using an image from Midjourney and into Kaiber. Unfortunately, from the transformation, you can see there that obviously it changes the style too much. So they had that shown, and they're just asking through the parameters or prompt how to make the style remain as close as possible to the initial image, or at least the transformation less fast. So again, we're going to use replicate, right? We took from their video, right, the first initial image right here, right, and this is the prompt. Here's the tool we use. We actually end up using Genmo. Genmo, right, we took the prompt here, put into Genmo. It's free for those that are aware of. Genmo is another AI tool, and I took that prompt, and here's what it put out was this prompt that I'll be using into Kaiber. I'll show you very shortly soon. Now, what it was that, again, Clipchamp took this, just copied it into Genmo. The only thing I added that was very important was from the initial change of the Discord user, you can see that there was long hair and other things, right? So I just took that long hair out. In Genmo, it allows you to take away stuff that you don't want or add in negative stuff to the prompt. Okay, I'm not going to go too further into that because this is not really a Genmo video, but I just wanted to showcase the workflow, the process to approaching how to again keep close to the initial image of the old grandma lady here with tattoos and piercing, etc., etc. And so now we took literally this, remember this, and I put it into Kaiber. Here it is. All that is in here, and the only thing we added into Kaiber, right, is here it is. The styling was added to be more cinematic. So that's another tip bonus here. So let's go ahead and play this back. So again, we took the original image, went through here, took this prompt, filter it through Genmo to initially get the unwanted long hair, other stylings or transformations that we just didn't want to stick to the original initial frame here, and this is what we get. So hopefully that will help, as you can see, in what's requested. Alright, just wanted to share this bonus. Thank you.